All right, time to find out what's going on in the world of music and entertainment with your crap on celebrities.
Will Smith has a new album based on a true story. That's what it's called. And it's here. The album features DJ Jazzy Jeff, Big Sean, Tejano Taylor, and Smith's son, Jaden. There's 14 tracks, and they're not calling them songs, guys. They're not songs.
Oh, cool.
What are they?
They're episodes.
Oh.
I thought they're hits.
And they're a mix of previously released hits like Beautiful Scars and First Love, and then a bunch of new tracks. I'm sorry, new episodes. The rollout of Based on a True Story also includes his first headlining tour, which is going to kick off in Europe this summer. In January, Smith told Billboard that he envisions Based on a True Story as 3 albums that will all be released throughout 2025. This marks Will Smith's first album since 2005's Lost and Found.
Wow, who could forget?
Yep.
20 years.
So listen to it.
So you want to hear some new Will Smith music?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You guys ready?
We got some.
You guys ready? So
we got it.
This one's called "You Looking for Me." Here's Will Smith. When Will Smith's got something in his head, he's going to do it. I don't think Will Smith has no people.
Listen,
honestly,
I don't know if I want to say that I like the guy, and I feel terrible for what it seems that he's gone through with this whole marriage thing or whatever that is. I really do. I think he's kind of a beaten and abused man in a lot of ways, and he's reacting and lashed out. But like, somebody step in and say, "Hey, man, I love you. Let me try to help you here."
Gary on the instant feedback. I mean, and he's right. Those songs are awful, but he could fit your whole house in his pool is an awesome line. That is a pretty good line.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good line.
That is pretty.
I didn't hear that.
Good
one.
flex.
I was sent from @Jaden Smith.
And just looking it up, Will Smith has grossed almost $10 billion globally. In
I mean,
he's
so
fine.
talented.
He's all right.
And that's why you. And that's why you got to protect. That's why you got to protect things. You've already had the biggest ding of your career. Don't put a record out that makes it easier to ding you.
Yeah. Yep.
Yolanda Saldivar. Do you guys know who this is?
Yes, I do.
You recognize the name? Saldivar.
Yolanda Saldivar.
Saldivar. This is the woman that was convicted of killing Tejano music legend Selena.
Oh, yes.
So
the president of her fan club.
Yes.
She was a president of her fan club, and she murdered her.
Just like the Human Torch, she was denied parole. I guess he was denied a bank loan. The family of Selena issued a lengthy statement yesterday confirming the news on social media. Here's what they said. Today, we are grateful that the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles has chosen to deny parole for Yolanda Saldivar. While nothing can bring Selena back, this decision reaffirms that justice does continue to stand for this beautiful life that was taken from us and from millions of fans around the world too soon. It's been nearly 30 years since Selena was killed. Yolanda shot the singer in the back at the Days Inn Hotel in Corpus Christi, Texas in 1995. Why do you guys remember why she did it?
No, I forget.
It's because
I didn't see the Jennifer Lopez movie.
It's because Selena had accused her of embezzling money.
Oh.
Yeah, embezzling money.
Right, she was the president of the fan club, right?
She seems innocent to me.
Yeah, she's currently serving life at Patrick O'Daniel Unit in Gatesville and had a petition for parole being considered this week. The panel's reason for denial was the nature of the offense.
Yeah, the murder.
Yeah.
Stay in jail.
Which is
forever.
You killed somebody. In a 2-part docuseries on Billy Joel that's coming to HBO this summer. Billy Joel and So It Goes is the title. It'll look at the Piano Man's life and career, exploring the loves and losses that have inspired some of his greatest songs. The director, Susan Lacey, said, "We are gratified that Bill trusted us with this story, which we have told as honestly as possible, diving into territory which has not been explored
She called
before."
him Bill?
She called him Bill.
Bill Joel?
And that's why I found it such an interesting story. Because you always hear about, like,
Willie Joel.
You always hear about, like, what is it, Robert De Niro, people calling him Bobby. And it's like...
I hate it.
It always makes it so weird. And Martin Scorsese, I'm watching that studio show with Seth Rogen, which, by the way, is pretty good.
I hear it's good.
It's an anxiety train, but it's pretty good. And, everybody calls him Marty. That always sounds so weird. So, yeah, Bill Joel.
Bill Joel.
Specific premiere date has not been announced at this time, but I'm sure it will.
He's
soon.
one of the rare adults that could still go with the Billy.
Yeah, Billy.
Or like Tommy the Boss. Like,
Billy.
Can you picture Tommy the Boss? Tom?
It doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work. Bill.
Couple trailers I watched this morning that got me really interested in particular movies, one of which I didn't think I would be interested in. And Rafe and I were discussing why we think we might be interested in this. But Alec Baldwin's long-delayed film Rust is finally getting its debut, and the first trailer dropped a couple days ago. And honestly,
it looks all right.
It looks pretty good.
it looks
right. Pretty good.
This
dude.
is the movie where Alec Baldwin accidentally killed the cinematographer. Here's the Rust trailer.
The only order that exists in this world is the order we impose. If a man loses sight of that, he's got nothing.
God bless the wicked.
It's what?
They continue to pay my bill.
I can't believe this movie's coming out.
I can't either, but I love westerns, Scott. I know you do. I know you do too. Rafe, you're probably into them as well. We were debating earlier. Do you think more or fewer people are going to see this because of the controversy?
Well, I want to
More
know,
people.
do you think the woman that was killed, will she receive any, like her family receive any income from this film?
I think so. I would think so.
So if they generate a ton of money for them, then that would be really cool.
Well, they will
I
because
think they did from the lawsuit.
it's
Yeah,
Alec
there's a lawsuit,
Baldwin's
too.
production company
Yeah.
that made the film, and inadvertently, I think he had to pay a certain amount of damages. So it's going to come from him,
and probably back end too on the movie.
Okay.
yeah, there's probably some back end.
Halyna
on that.
Hutchins.
Moon and I were talking about it before we went on air, and I'm like, man, I can't decide if did they wait this long to let it die down and release it? Were they having to do reshoots? Were they waiting for the lawsuit to settle?
I think this is the on schedule. I mean,
Yeah, because I think the shoot stopped for months and months and months, and
It
had
did.
to
They-
finish.
They
later on.
resumed and
They
finished it in 2023.
Oh, so it's been done that long.
Yeah, but it takes usually this long, right, for something to come out.
Well-
Usually a Western is kind of low budgety. I think they can get those dumped pretty quick.
I don't know. The theaters are releasing it on May 2nd, so this thing just hit and it'll be out in a month.
Huh? Interesting.
It is
I'm
pretty interesting,
intrigued.
and I am interested in seeing it. Hey, Gene Simmons, by the way, defending what we were talking about yesterday. Learn, let us know that for $12,000, fans can get a chance to become a roadie and a personal assistant for Gene Simmons for a day.
Which I'm like, wow, you're paying to work for Gene. You're paying
Yeah,
to
get-
work for Gene Simmons.
Get to work. Now,
What a racket.
Gene is blaming high insurance costs. And this is what he said. This is not for everybody, and it ain't cheap. But it's also a different world than I grew up in. Nowadays, if you get a paper cut, everybody gets sued. Simmons also said that growing up, he was always curious about touring and thought he would give his fans a chance to see exactly what life was like. That's a documentary.
Listen, if you're a Kiss fan, this is and you have the money. This is a dream.
This is
Yeah.
cool. It's cool.
$12,000 to be a roadie for Kiss to experience.
Now,
And
I
I'm
hope
sure
they,
you're not really doing much. For
I hope
them.
they deliver. You know, they're the milkers of all things. But I hope Gene is like there and doing things, and you get to be a part of sound check, and you get to be a part of this and that. I mean, if you're going to pay for that, I hope you're not just backstage and you get to see the show from side stage
Yeah.
or something while it's
Ooh.
happening.
Hey,
Watch the
and-
guy carry a guitar.
And by the way, Jeff on the instant feedback about the Rust movie, he goes, imagine they didn't release it and all those people who spent hours
Yeah, exactly.
working on it, they don't get,
I get all that.
Yeah.
they never get their money because it doesn't get released. Yeah, I understand that too. But somebody did die on the set.
Well, Rafe was saying, like, how many people you think are going to boycott it or not see it because of Alec Baldwin and the whole thing? And I said, some, but fewer than will probably see it that would not have otherwise seen it if there wasn't all this hubbub.
Yeah, and I think back to The Crow when Brandon Lee died on set. That movie probably got a big push because it
Yeah.
became the
legend.
lore around it of being his, it's different. That was like the family curse stuff, and it was the actor that got killed. But I don't know. It's really interesting to and I was telling Moon, I like this kid Jensen Ackles is in it. He played Dean in Supernatural for like 17 years. He played the same guy and I like him as an actor. He's the Homelander's dad in The Boys.
Oh, yeah.
He looks like the L.A. version of our buddy Marty Brooks over on WIL. Yes, he does,
I
dude.
don't see it. But
Yes, he
all right.
does.
Yes, it is.
He totally does. He's L.A.'d out.
He's the Canadian version.
Which there's been rumors of him playing Batman. I felt bad for him because I'm like, he made the jump. That was his jump from TV to movies.
And this Alec Baldwin movie.
Yes, and it
Yeah,
just
sucks.
yeah, I think he's like
Vincent
one of the
Ankles.
main
That's
people
cool.
in it, and so hopefully, for him, I'm happy. But it's just kind of a weird, bittersweet.
Might be good for him though. This movie may have just slipped under the radar. Nobody would have cared. Speaking of caring, Scott and me are after this house, Dolly Parton's house, the one that she once lived in. Now your chance. Back in '94, Dolly bought a remote mountainside cabin in Idlewild, California for $126,000, and in 2023 she donated the cabin to the Ronald McDonald House Charities of Southern California. Very cool. Last July, the charity sold the property, and now it's back on the market. It is available, and we're after it. Who wants in for $768,000? You can have one of Dolly's homes, and this is a cool place. The listing says Dolly and her beloved mother, who were last to occupy this home, leaving behind decor, collectibles, and furnishings, all included in the sale. Legend has it that the spacious loft was Dolly's favorite place to write and play her music. And it does come with Dolly's personal furnishings, apparently. That's worth $768,000 alone.
Dang.
It has a guitar-shaped toilet, by the way, if you're really looking for
Nice.
I figured as a base.
700,000, and you know what? That's asking price. That thing will be.
Oh, it's going to go crazy.
It'll go crazy.
That was just to get the attention.
Yeah,
I think.
that's what realtors are doing now. They're pricing stuff low so people get into a bidding war.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
That'll go for way more than that.
Special.
Megan Fox gave birth yesterday to a baby girl with ex-fiance Machine Gun Kelly. I did not know that they were off. I guess we stopped talking about that whole thing.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. She's finally here, our little celestial seed, MGK posted in an Instagram story. Quote, we composed the score of the birth, born into 432 hertz. What an epic journey, praise God. As of last night, the baby's name was not announced. This is Megan's first daughter. She shares 3 sons with ex-husband Brian Austin Green. This is MGK's second. He shares a 15-year-old daughter with an ex-girlfriend. Speaking of Brian Austin Green, he shared a screenshot of a direct message that he received from MGK, who seemed pretty irritated about him asking when the baby was due. So MGK put this, quote, stop asking when our child is going to be born. You the feds. Quit calling TMZ and focus on that apology you owe me for speaking my name in public. You chose the wrong one to F with, Mr. Child Actor. Go back to cereal commercials.
Everything seems healthy over there.
Yeah.
Everything seems great.
Hey, at least they sound like
it's a
adults.
loving place. Speaking of Seth Rogen, I've been watching that new show, and he was on a podcast and said that he is very afraid that he's going to die with too much money. And when you hear the reasoning, kind of relatable. So he was on Dax Shepard's podcast, and he said, quote, I don't have any children, and I'm afraid that I'm going to die and be like, I could have had an effing place on the beach. I don't want to die with $10 million in the bank that I could have spent doing fun, alive things. I could have just been jetting this whole time.
What?
For people that do have kids,
Don't
though,
spend your money.
Leaving an inheritance is probably a priority, but Seth quoted... Or Seth said this, I would imagine people want to leave their kids money, which I guess is a good thing to do. But, you know, life is for the living, and you can't take all that hard-earned money with you when you go.
You know what? If he's willing to hire me for a couple million, I will set up all these fun adventures for him, and I'll be a tour guide for him.
Scott.
I will help him.
And finally, some people become celebrities because they're incredibly talented, others because they're just effortlessly entertaining. And they've provided us with some unforgettable performance or they just sold their soul to the devil. So, maybe it's nepotism, maybe they started out rich, whatever the reason, there is a list where somebody asked the internet, what celebrity gives you the I sold my soul to
Machine
the devil
Gun Kelly.
vibes?
Why do you think that?
I'll tell you, he's not on this list.
Well, is it also, I mean, the famous one is Katy Perry in an Australian interview when she said she sold her soul.
Katy Perry is number 13.
Yeah.
She is number
So
13.
celebrity, Rafe, come on, give me a celebrity that sold their soul to the devil.
Oh, I mean, Jimmy Page.
Jimmy Page, not on the list. You guys are missing the obvious, like, the big ones.
The big one? Okay, like Tom Hanks.
No, Tom Hanks is not on the list.
Okay.
So, a musician or actor, number one? Both.
Musician is number 1.
Madonna.
No.
P. Diddy.
No, but you're getting closer, I guess.
Oh, Jay-Z.
No.
Will Smith.
No. Controversial as all
Kanye.
get out.
Yeah.
Kanye West. Thank you. That is
I was
number
worried
1.
you were going to say Weird Al.
Number 2 is DJ Khaled. They say that nobody gets to be that rich and famous by simply saying "we the best" before every
And
song.
another one. And another one.
Number 3 is Adam Levine. Number 4 is
Maroon
the
5.
entire Kardashian clan.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah, I can
Number
see
5 is Jared Leto. Somebody said, I can't tell if he's weird, a cult leader, or both. Number 6 is Logan Paul. Number 7 is Mr. Beast. And so, have you seen the videos about, like, his name is Beast, and he's this, and he's that, and he's associated with the devil? There's a lot of, like, conspiracy theories out about that. Number 8 is the one that I did not see coming. It's Willem Dafoe, but in a
Willem
good
Dafoe?
in a good way.
He kind of looks.
He plays dark roles a lot too.
Well, he's got that devilish look.
Yeah,
He's got that demon look.
The quote on the internet was, "The devil sold his soul to Willem Dafoe." Like he just assumed the position and took over.
Yeah.
But I don't know, because there's a really cool clip of him walking on the street in New York, and this person doesn't know who
I
he
saw
is.
that.
And he just seems very genuinely nice.
He's
and
awesome.
I'm
Yeah, but he's
I
got
think
that
the
look
opposite.
of like, all right, this guy's a demon.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. Number 9 is Keith Richards, not for his fame, but for his longevity,
Yeah.
because, against all odds, the guy's still
Throw
smoking.
Ozzy Osbourne in there, too.
Ozzy Osbourne, number 10.
Dang.
Ozzy is the one of the only few who gambled with the devil and won. Number 11 is Marilyn Manson. Number 12, Michael Jackson. 13, as you said, Katy Perry. 14 was Jennifer Lopez. And 15, and there was a lot of votes on this one.
Dude.
Every judge on any country's blank got talent. All the judges on the reality shows. And that is your crap on celebrities.
All right, celebrities celebrating a birthday this weekend. Lady Gaga turns 39. Vince Vaughn turns 55. Lucy Lawless. Remember her?
Oh, dude. Xena? Is that Xena?
Xena
She's in a
Warrior
new
Princess
movie
is
coming out.
57. Celine Dion.
no.
She turns 57 this weekend. Donna D'Errico. She was Donna on Baywatch. She was once married to Nikki Sixx. She is 57. John Popper from
Blues
Traveler.
Yes, he turns 58. Cheryl Salt James of Salt and Pepper turns 59. Ian Ziering, the star of Sharknado, turns 61. Tracy Chapman, 61. MC Hammer, 63. Amy Sedaris, remember Jerry from Stranger with Candy?
Yeah, she's incredible. Mandalorian.
She turned 64. The Anger Ball from Jane's Addiction, Perry Farrell, turns 66. Paul Reiser, kids may know him as Dr. Owens on Stranger Things, turns 69. Reba McEntire, happy birthday, Reba. She turns... Rafe?
69.
I'm going to say 65.
I'm going to go. Ooh, yeah, she's going to be 66.
Reba McEntire turns
71?
70.
Whoa!
It is a big birthday.
Oh, wow.
Holy smokes. By the
close.
way, look at this. Donna D'Errico. I mean, she doesn't look real. She looks like a Barbie doll. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, if you were casting a movie in 2001 for Barbie,
It's Donna D'Errico.
this is her.
She's a patriot.
Diane Wiest. You guys know who that is? Diane Wiest.
Diane Wiest
man,
is,
she was in a ton of things. Edward Scissorhands. She was in
Yep.
Footloose. She was in The
Footloose.
Birdcage.
Yeah, Footloose.
Diane Wiest is 77. Slow Hands. Eric Clapton is 80. Eric Idle from Monty Python is 82. Warren Beatty turns 88 this weekend, and congratulations to the original Gomez Addams from the Addams Family, the TV show. John Aston.
Love that guy.
Is that Sean's dad?
His son is Sean Astin. Actually, John isn't Sean's biological dad. Sean was Patty Duke's son, and John Astin adopted him when they were married. John Astin, the original Gomez Addams from the TV show, turns 95 this weekend.
That
That's
guy. That's a really sweet story. They were in love with each other, Gomez and Morticia, and they never admitted it to one another because I think she was married. I don't remember the situation, but on her deathbed, he went and saw her and admitted that he just loved her and wanted to be with her and had loved her his whole life. And she said she felt the same way.
No.
It's kind of like there was an article
But he
about
was
it.
married
It was
to
very,
Patty
very sweet.
Duke.
Yeah, he was. And they both had significant others. It was just an interesting story
Right.
to be like, oh, they really, when he's kissing her arm, man, he really loved her.
Today's porno birthday, which is being brought to you by Patricia's, where fun and fantasy meet, is April Flowers. And today's birthday girl has been in 374 fine films, including the all-you-can-eat buffet, Ass Cleavage 2, the Chocolate Vanilla Swirl Special.
I'm just so glad you haven't said anything about April showers brings some sort of shower.
Yes, that's what I was worried about.
April flowers brings some sort of showers.
No. She was in Cool Babes, Hot Bods, Dirty Deeds, Done Dirt Cheap 3, Fast Times, The Deep Crack High, Lex the Impaler.
Fast Times at Deep Crack High.
That's right.
Something up to it, man.
She was,
Riccoli, where's your shirt? Something up to it, man.
she was in Meatless in Seattle,
Aw.
Womb Raider,
Okay.
and who could forget a role in 2001's Dead Men Don't Wear Rubbers.
Oh, my God.
April Flowers is 47 years old. That's your porno birthday. Those are your crappy birthdays, and that was your crap on celebrities.